Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So here again the difference from the last time we discussed is how do we understand the super self is present with us, super soul is present with us, and the basic idea was that we are getting constantly intelligence. We are entangled in the material world and we are getting intelligence. And this intelligence is the form direction of the Lord. Correct? Suppose you are stuck somewhere and you get some inspiration, encouragement, correct? Some kind of direction. It has to come from a person. It cannot, stones falling there cannot make a direction. And it's something we should know. It's like Brahma when he was born. At least he had that constant urge. How I come into being. This was there in the system. We don't have that. How? What is my purpose of existence? Who am I? Why I am born in this world? Brahma had it. And he did secret tapasya to realize that final source. Okay, I can understand I was born from my parents, but they were born from their parents. In our case, Brahma case, he could not even see the parents. But still, Brahma was searching for the ultimate cause of his existence, and he saw. Correct? After seeing it, was it. So this is where the essence lies. Kṛṣṇa does love us, but you can know that only when you love Kṛṣṇa. Kṛṣṇa loves us, but you can't know that. It's like parents love the child, correct? But child can't know unless he loves the parents. He'll never, otherwise he will think, no, some meaning in it. No, because of this they are doing. He will not understand why parents love, unless he loves the parents. So you cannot understand that Kṛṣṇa loves you unless you love Kṛṣṇa. Why only devotees realize Kṛṣṇa loves us? Other people, they say, why such a big, people are talking about that now. Why there is such a big calamity where in front of the Lord itself, Badrinath, Kedarnath, in front of the Lord Shiva himself, people have died. Why? Anyway, Lord is always conscious, but in front of him, some bodies were inside the temple. In front of him, he has allowed that, sanctioned that. Why? In fact, very interesting. In Mahabharata, already it is predicted India will be invaded by all these people. Each one is predicted. It's surprising. 5,000 years ago, there was a time they were the emperors of the world. To even make such a prediction will be strange. Just like today you say in America, and I say that very soon America will be invaded by Africans, Indians. It will be strange. Who will believe? Mahabharata says at that time, the empire, there was one flag on it, Hastinapur, that is the seat of the world empire. But they predicted, in Kali Yuga, India will be invaded by all these people. If we are analyzing how many more are there, because already what predicted has happened, they are saying anything missing. Anyway, that's a separate issue. But why is it that India being, even now somebody may say this question, India is such a, so many temples are there and people do go to temples, but true. But why is still so much suffering here? The reason is that in India the punishment is more. The blessing is also more, the punishment is also more. Because such a beautiful opportunity is there to serve Kṛṣṇa. If you utilize that in this holy land, you get greatly benefited. And the atmosphere is so congenial. There were so many people who became devotees around the world. They come and live in this place. See, near Udupi, how many people have bought farms and they live there. And actually in Americans, this place is very nice. Old age, they want to come, devotees around the world, they want to come and settle down in India. Why? Because they see this place is so congenial to perform devotional service. Okay. At the same time, in this place, if we do simple activities in India, then what happens? Reaction is more. That is the reason. That's what we can understand. Correct? Because why? Papa karma also becomes more, 1,000 times more. And then it's such a terrible reaction. We see the partition, millions of people died. 2 people wanted to become prime minister, that's all. Gandhi was so much against the partition and broke into pieces. Millions of people died. They are happy to get a seat and they're closing their eyes to the fact that to get that seat, millions of people died. You know that? In fact, Gandhi said that if partition is there, I don't want freedom itself. Let us continue under British. At least at one point he said that. He was so much against it. But these people were, it doesn't matter. Jinnah was happy I'm getting one country, he was happy. Oh, anyway, this is the history. Now, the fact remains that the reaction is there. Okay, that's what we have to do. Now, so super soul is there with the individual soul, and this Dvaita is very difficult to realize. In fact, just by the study of scripture, without the guidance of devotee, you can't find out. It's not that only Shankaracharya started, right? Before that also, Advaita philosophy has been there for a long time. Even Arjuna asked this question in Gita. Kṛṣṇa, some people worship in the impersonal way, some people worship in the personal way, which is better? That means this philosophy is existing for a long time. And for a jiva who has come to enjoy, independent of the Lord, and when he's frustrated in every way, this looks very attractive. Because one side there is a frustration in enjoying the material world. Because what we get is temporary pleasure, which does not satisfy us. And on top of it, if somebody presents, just that realization already publica have. A lot of people have this realization. Okay? How many gulab jamun we can? 1, 2, 10, 20, after that. I will not eat gulab jamun anymore. Okay? Everybody is having that sense pleasure is temporary and not satisfying. So you just add on that one icing on the cake, but that you are God. Actually a God. And people immediately rush for this philosophy. There is an inherent, bias of people toward this philosophy. So, the moment somebody presents the scripture in a little twisted way here and there, they accept it. They say, yeah, this is, because it is within their realization, this nonsense. They are really happy to embrace it. So, it's only because of the Vaishnava Acharyas, the great Vaishnavas, that we are getting in this world this hint that no, we are servants of Krishna. Otherwise it cannot come. This Prabhupada is revealing in the purport here that Atma is there, Paramatma is there. It is only because of the great Acharyas who show the real meaning of the scripture without interpretation, who show by a personal example a Vaishnava, what is a Vaishnava? A blissful existence, much ahead of the existence of a impersonal existence. And that we are able to access this domain. Otherwise it is not possible. On our own, Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita purport also, even Devatas, the people who are intellectually so powerful, they can only go on their own to the negative of sense gratification. That's all. And touch impersonalism. Even a person like Devata have no capacity to understand Krishna on his own, unless he meets a Vaishnava. Then what happens when he meets a Vaishnava? The desire, this desire develops. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna says, Nishtha moha it comes to contact. Actually, it's not that when you meet Krishna, in that chapter that you ask, now Krishna is there in front of me, take his shelter. That's what happens. You take shelter of Nishtha moha smriti lokta. That's it. After hearing Bhagavad Gita, yes, here it is. You get smriti. What smriti? You directly see the Lord. I am a servant of Krishna. This essence manifests, and Krishna is manifest to the heart. And you take shelter of Krishna. Take shelter of Krishna's lotus. A pure devotee is carrying Krishna's lotus feet in his heart. He's completely, his head is always on the lotus feet of Krishna. So, when he presents Krishna consciousness, Even though we may be very much inclined toward. Prabhupada said in the beginning of Kṛṣṇa consciousness, also we are too much inclined toward impersonal. It is gradually, as we take shelter of the pure devotee, we are able to come to shelter of Krishna. Okay? So this is one point also we should understand. And in different ways, it can be, another thing can be analyzed is that just like sometimes we have worms and they say there is one tablet, correct? Now there is one tablet, all varieties of worms, one tablet. They say you take, it's all over, correct? Generally they say. Similarly in Kṛṣṇa consciousness, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is given one tablet, chant Hare Krishna. Okay, you are the greatest papi, doesn't matter. You don't know what is dharma, doesn't matter. You never done any tapasya, doesn't matter. Not done anything, doesn't matter. Just take this tablet, chant Hare Krishna. Imagine a doctor like that. He said this problem is in that. So that is not, just take one tablet. All your diseases will go. And then what happens? You come in contact with Krishna. So what is so special coming in contact with Krishna? Not only that he is the Supreme Lord, not only that I am fully under his protection when I take shelter of Krishna. There is one more important thing. Krishna is the enchanter of the soul. Not that you are going to miss something. It's like suppose, who is the most famous personality? Everybody in India now. Say some cricketer or some film star. These are the people who are famous today. Say anybody. Any name you take? Dhoni. Nowadays he Dhoni. Now you meet Dhoni, 5 minutes you will get bored after. 5 minutes, all will get, so famous. After 5 minutes, you'll get bored, correct? What will you speak finally? Hit the ball like this. After some time, you will get bored. How do you catch? He will show you how to jump and catch. That's all. What do they do with it? You catch him, he will say, please show how do you jump and take a catch. He will jump with the gloves. Okay, you will see. 5 minutes, you will say, I'm bored of you. Okay? Go. Krishna. For trillions of years. Continue, no 5 minutes, unlimited time, you will eat. Your mouth will be open only. And not only for trillions of souls in the spiritual world, just like Krishna came in Vrindavan. Every moment, not only his killing of demons or producing wow, every word Krishna says, every gesture Krishna does. And even for our great Acharya, those who are advanced devotees, when they see the activities of Acharya, it's not easy to understand the activities of Acharya, correct? Of a pure devotee, Vaishnava, Kriya Mudra cannot be easily understood. But suppose those are advanced, every movement of his activity, because he is a pure devotee, Krishna is also. And actually when that becomes wow, then Krishna will become wow. You cannot directly go to Krishna. Prabhupada says first is devotion to the Guru, then comes devotion to Krishna, not directly. Therefore I have been telling last 2-3 classes, all the scripture is taking you to the personality of a devotee. If you have understood scripture means, you have understood a pure devotee. Then he will take you to Krishna. That's why it is said, father and mother. Scripture is a mother, Guru is a father. And he takes you to Krishna. So we should really understand the position of a pure devotee is extremely exalted. He also, everything he says, every word he says is then we can understand how Krishna is born. The mercy that he shows. What is the role of an Acharya? He is a mercy incarnation. Just like we have so many incarnations, Nam Avatara, okay? We have Archa Avatara, okay? Yuga Avatara. There is something called Kripa Avatara, that is Acharya. And he is an Acharya. So we are trying to become, we are not devotees actually. Devotee is a very big thing. We are trying to become a devotee. But Acharya's position is not in that platform. He is an exalted personality, come with great compassion to this world. And if he can understand that and take his shelter, that is taking shelter of Krishna. Sarvadharman parityaja mame amutvam sarapapebhyo is he is the one doing on behalf of Krishna, washing us from all our sins. And don't worry, because we are in this world, we are so much harassed. Every moment Maya is waiting to trap us. I always say, excuse me. You're sitting, you're studying, excuse me. This channel you open, and when you go open the TV, then you are sitting there on the book. Just excuse me. 1 minute, excuse me, and gone. Maya is like waiting. Correct? You're doing something. Excuse me. Gone. So you can't even look. It is so dangerous actually. So we are in this world where Maya is giving such tough examination. But if we take shelter of the Acharya, because mind has to obey. If it obeys a pure devotee, yes, Prabhupada said therefore, unless you are thickly bonded to the spiritual master, you can't follow anything. So we have to invest faith. And generally what happens is that, we try to invest faith, expire. No, we have to find a person whom we can invest faith, who is a resident of the spiritual world. He takes you to the spiritual. Suppose you want to meet the new chief minister. Correct? You want to meet for some work. Suppose you have to know somebody who knows him. Otherwise you can't meet. Other normal process doesn't work. They will get 200, 500 people in front of his house. You have seen, even a small MLA now. They have made Raj Darbar in Mangalore. Some office they have made huge office. And you go there, we will get few seconds. That's all. And 20 people are speaking at one time. You can't even present it. But suppose you know somebody who knows him, he will take you into his private chamber and you can say, this is what I need. Can you help me? Yes. Correct? So similarly, you want to take Krishna's shelter, personal mercy, special mercy of Krishna. General mercy is their maintenance, not a big deal. Special mercy of Krishna. Krishna, I want to come back to your lotus feet. That mercy. One is general mercy, Krishna, maintain me. That Krishna is giving to animals also. Yeah? That blessing animals also have. But you want special mercy. You want to be saved from the allurement. Food is okay, but I want to save from the allurement of Maya. I want to go to the lotus feet of Krishna in the spiritual world, even though I'm thoroughly incapable, I'm very sinful, I cannot do any tapasya, anything. Yes, you have to take shelter. We have to. That is one of the sadhana. It's not that just I am chanting Hare Krishna. Sadhana is there. One more sadhana. Tasmad Guru Prapadeda Jigyasu Shemato. Go. And here we are present in a pure devotee. Prabhupada said it's illegal to be a spiritual master if you cannot deliver your disciple. Therefore, we want to pre-place it. Please take shelter of Srila Prabhupada. He will take it. In fact, nobody says, I have not met till now of a single person who says that I can take you back to God. Prabhupada said, if you hold my dhoti, I will take you back to God. Prabhupada used to write letters. I am not flattering you. Just follow what I am telling you. You'll all go back to God. Prabhupada said that. So many times Nishtha devotees to do nice service. He said, for this service, you'll all go back to Godhead. How is he saying that? Is he just making a joke of it? No, he's an Acharya Baba. He has a power of attorney. Admit one, you can give. You go, you can, just like a cinema hall, you buy a ticket. Say, admit one, and you go, you can get. Correct? So similarly, he can also, yes, I am very pleased by your service. Admit one. So whatever you do, finally the Acharya is pleased. All this will be realized. Otherwise, these are all very advanced things. People, big scholars get trapped into Advaitism. It's true. Big. Even so many rishis, so many devatas, trapped to the. There are so many people who read Bhagavatam, the great sages, they are trapped to impossible. So many terrific big sages in the universe get trapped. In the sense they may not be Mayavad in the sense of offenders to Krishna, but they are more inclined, like sons of Brahma also spoke Kumaras, they would also realize an impersonalism. Like that, there are a lot of top people in this universe. They were fortunate that they smelled the tulsi on the lotus feet of Krishna and they saw the beautiful face of Krishna in the form that Krishna was in the form of Narayana at that time. And they became devotee, but otherwise, it's extraordinary thing to understand that the soul is a servant of Krishna. The identity of soul is Jivera Sarupaya Krishnera Nitya. So this should be clearly understood. More I was meditating. that was about the holy name. See, what happens is that what we see the world is a material world. And I said that also what we are saying technically, if you use the term sciences, they say this is a phenomenal world. And when I see this world is only a world of my experience. Reality behind it, I don't know. There are different philosophies for that. There is this materialism, that philosophy is that the world I am seeing obeys certain laws. And these people are hunting for those laws. Okay? And the Kṛṣṇa reveals to them like that. You understand? Just like if I say that this is a paperweight, this karta. I gave this example. So if you keep meditating a paperweight, it will act like a paperweight. You keep over paper, it will act like a paperweight. And true, it will prove those. But you go to that person, you have a higher understanding, you take two of them and you hit them. See, it can make nice sound also. Who? So it is a higher understanding. So similarly, at one level, at materialism, people are only meditating on this world. And they don't see God at all. And they see this matter. They see it independent of the God. The devotees, what they do, when they see the complexity of this world, they immediately, devotees conclude what the Creator is there. Sure? But the scientists, what they do, they study the complexity of this world. But Devi Esha Gunamayi Mamamaya Durataya. Just by doing that, you cannot understand. By looking at creation, we cannot understand the Creator. If I am studying this karta, can you know who made the karta? Shubham made it or he made it. Can you know just by looking at karta? You know some intelligent person has made it, that's all. But who is that person, you know? Similarly, what the scientists do, they're looking at the complexity of this world. By looking at the complexity, you cannot know about the Creator. That is one. Second thing, Durataya, it is so intricate because there are, you know that Sankhya, there are 25 elements, the world is divided, 24, time we can take a study. The world is divided so detailed way that just like ether, we know from the Bhagavad Sankhya, from ether air comes, from air water comes, correct? There is a detailed cause and effect is so intricate that you can't figure out actually there is a Creator. Please, we should not try to just discard the scientists as idiots. They are not idiots, they are very intelligent people. But what mistake they are doing is that to know knowledge, Bhagavad Gita, Kṛṣṇa gives a process, tadvidhi pranipadena, take shelter of a pure devotee. Pariprashna, ask all your doubts to him. Sevaya, offer service to him. Ubhadakshudite jnanam jnanina tattvadarshina. Because he has seen the truth, he will reveal to you. But they don't accept this process. They don't want descending knowledge. And definitely they don't, they're so proud, they can't take shelter of a pure devotee. Prabhupada did. Even great scientists, if they took shelter of Prabhupada revealed Kṛṣṇa to them. And they became great devotees. Correct? You know, so many devotees who were actually big scientists before. But when they were Prabhupada, they followed the process to know the knowledge. And they went about the scientific thing later. You know, there was a devotee who was a great paleontologist. Now, if you are a paleontologist, be studying bones, you'll have hundreds of doubts. Because where is the bone of a, they say they didn't find a bone of a human being which is million-year-old. But you know, Shastra says humans were billions of years old, not million, they were there since beginning. Now, if you are a paleontologist, you have so many doubts. But no, he didn't follow this process. He rather what he did, he took shelter of a pure devotee. Pranipatena, offered service to Prabhupada. And the Prabhupada revealed to them, yes, you are not body, you are a spirit, soul, servant of Krishna. At least to a certain extent that was realized, otherwise how they dedicated their life. Later they went into studying. Let me now study, I am convinced. How is he convinced? This is the process. Later they went by scientific process and now they are showing, yes, you are doing knowledge filtration. They got so much evidence of so many evidences that man was there on millions of years old. They got evidence. And they have accused the scientists of knowledge filtration and even the written books called Forbidden Archaeology. Okay? So like that, so many devotees. So, Our fortune is we followed the right process. You got it? And now the situation is that the science is stuck in the sense that sometimes we use science to explain Kṛṣṇa consciousness, correct? But there is no fact. Because they are actually working. Just like, we are using the laptop, we are using the LCD. So whatever they are saying, even in philosophy and science, it is misused. They may be misusing whatever they know. And misunderstood also sometimes. But there is some element of truth in it. Just like this mic is there is one element of truth in it that I can use for amplification. But generally it is misused. People sing nonsense songs and sometimes they misunderstand also how it is working. That's a separate issue. But similarly, the discoveries they make, so many conclusions they make, there is some element of truth also in it. But at present day, one thing we should be confident. Just by science you can't prove God. Science is not evolved to that level. Some devotees are very excited. Scientifically I tell you how God is there. Not possible. Not possible. Otherwise, if it was true, the noble earth will accept now. They are not fools. They know what is science. All the top scientists, they know what the conclusions of science are. From that, they are not coming to Kṛṣṇa. So what do we know now? Science has not evolved to that. It will come. If Kṛṣṇa's grace, if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants whole earth to take to Kṛṣṇa consciousness, because in Kali Yuga, the tendency is the mass is very much enchanted by matter. You tell a new mobile has come, whole city wants to see it. Correct? They are very much enchanted by matter in Kali Yuga. People, generally, they are not enchanted by spirit. We were discussing that day. That those who are great devotees, they are enchanted by the Lord, the spirit on the Lord. At least you take Brahmana. And the Shudras are enchanted by matter. Therefore, Shudras used to do this work. Lohar work, this work, Kumar work, because they are matter. For them, soul is not Dharma. And they do wonderful things with matter. Today, these become engineer and all those things, but previously they were only Shudras. And Brahmana means he is enchanted by God, or at least by soul. Brahmachanati iti Brahmana. He is enchanted. Not only he knows, he is enchanted by that. Now what happened? Kali Yuga people are all Shudra. Kalau Shudra Sambhavaha. Everybody is enchanted by matter. And who is the specialist on matter? The scientist. Therefore they are worshipped today. Every statement they make, people are so eager to hear. Sometimes they ask us also, we will not follow what you are telling because it is not scientific. Scientists say there is no God today. Another thing to understand is, there was one science. Okay, so this is scientist said there is but the fact remains, every day science is changing. You can't be sure about what they intend. Tomorrow science may come to a platform where they agree God. So what they say is not an absolute statement, because they themselves change. They thought, how many I have heard no jokes, what they thought this place is. Today they say it is a computer because we made a computer. Before, 100 years ago when there was no computer, they didn't say this is a computer. They said this is a place for cooling blood. Because mechanical engineering that time, when you have lathe machines, there is a cooling fluid is there. Before that they thought this is a steam engine. It's like a pressure cooker. Before they thought it is a catapult. Just like the throw. What all they thought about this? So they keep changing, every day they keep changing. So similarly, what they are saying, how we can take it as final? Number one. Number two, if you clearly study the top scientists, not this, they have doubts about God existence. Many scientists. In fact, in science, there are 4 people who are considered to be the foundation. They are the top people. Number 1 person is said to be Newton, who saw this world. See, scientist means what? Who sees this world in a new way. Muni, he is a Muni. And that view, people take many years to understand that view. He gets a view. It's all by grace of Paramatma. He gets a view. So Newton got a view, this world is nothing but particles. He was seeing particles in motion, either with velocity 0 or with any velocity. But just like a number, 0 is also a number. So he was seeing this world as particles in motion. That's all. Inertia of nothing means velocity is zero. But moving with velocity is zero. That means that. But he was seeing the whole world like that. He gave that view to the world. And based on that, so many things came out. Then after that, Newton was a great devotee of the Lord. In a sense, he said, there is a Lord in this world. There was a person who came to him and he had made the model of his planetary system. Correct? Newton, based on all the laws he understood, he made it. So the friend came to him. He said, how did you make it? He said, I didn't make it. You know what happened? An accident had happened. It was a simple model by gear and all. If you move this, all the planets will start moving in their respective positions, correct? Around the sun. Simple. It is possible, any engineer can design. He had designed that. So he told his friend, actually I didn't make it. An accident had happened. He said it is not possible. Newton said, then how do you think this universe has come? Accidentally moving, huh? Accidentally. When small toy model cannot come by accident. This is Newton's statement. How can the real thing come by accident? The next scientist which came was Maxwell, who said this world, he saw this world in terms of field. He gave all the electromagnetic fields. Another scientist. He was also a great believer of it. The two founders are over. The third one was Einstein. Einstein was a believer of God, but in the childhood he was much more organized, church and all. Later he said, I'm not very, the huge war happened and all. After that he was not part of organized church. He didn't want to be part of an organized religion. But his statements always kept saying, science without religion is vague, like that. So he was also for God. And then after that person, the fourth one was Planck. He gave the idea about the quantum. Einstein gave the idea. First was particle, then was this field, and then was Einstein. He saw space-time continuum, and then came Planck, who gave the quantum theory, which he did not understand properly. Therefore, and to this day it is not properly understood. Therefore, scientists say only in this world there are 3.5 scientists. That's all. To this day. Just like I give you don't understand this one. Suppose there is a CEO of the company. Other people are working, but he is the CEO. So actually it is Newton's idea. Rest people will be working on that idea. Just like using Maxwell's idea, you can create all this electricity, all those things. Using the Planck's idea, you can create all this LCD, everything, remote control. We are using that idea. So he is the founder of that idea. We are just like the CEO. The rest people are just working under it. So his idea is being, these are the 3.5. All these 4 scientists were devotees. Sometimes somebody was telling scientists were non-devotees. No, I can't say that. But still, they can't prove it by equations. Even though they had a hint God is there, they can't prove it by equations. They don't have it. And all the scientists agree, the very vision, what they were doing, they got the idea, they got the calculation to develop what they showed. And they felt that where the inspiration came, it came from the God. God is there. They all felt God is there. But they could not scientifically prove it. Array of the top scientists could not scientifically prove. Why you want us to go and prove it first? Number one. There is another idiot, he is very famous nowadays. Who is that person? He can't even speak, he keeps typing on the... Stefan. He made a statement recently. Science does not need God. There is a challenge for that. Point is, see this world, what you experience, is called a world of experience. Technically called phenomenon. Okay? You don't know what's the reality. Now, just let me go detail. Materialists say the reality is some matter which obeys laws. Then comes the Buddhists, they say it is Shunya. And Shunya is not easy. Their Shunya is very complicated. They say in reality it can have 4 choices. Either it is being means living. Either it is non-being, or it is being, not being and not, they go 3-4 combinations of this being and not being. And there's a reality, none of these 4. Because we see in this word being and not being, they make some four combination possible of being, and then finally say reality is none of these four. You can't understand it. And that is called Shunya, the very detailed Shunya. Shunya also very detailed. Not just zero, what easy is it? And then come the Mayavadi, they say, no, this world is the reality. What you are experiencing is some your field of experience. The reality behind that is Brahman, spirit. And the devotees, they go even more higher. And they bring the Lord also in the reality. Correct? They say you are experiencing the Lord's energies. And behind that is the Lord. Finally, there is nothing in existence except Kṛṣṇa. There is Kṛṣṇa and Kṛṣṇa's energies. That is the reality. Behind you are what you are experiencing. Got it? So this is how different people have gone. Now what happens is that present day science, what it does, that there is a field of experience we are having, and they create a fantasy world of mathematical equations. Fantasy is a pure fantasy world. And they, just like, you take this and you throw this. That is happening in your world of experience. Real world, what is happening, none of us know. Because therefore Acharyas keep telling, hear what Kṛṣṇa is saying. Because you are perceiving everything from your senses. You don't know what's the fact which is happening. I got an experience, this has fallen. Correct? But you don't know what actually really what has happened. True? It's like a movie. You get an experience, something is happening, but the fact is when the light is switched on, you're just sitting in the movie hall. Actually nothing happened. You get frightened, you start crying. Actually there is no need to cry, there's no need to laugh. Nothing, there is no need. But when the light is switched on, you understand, I'm sitting here only. But in the movie time, suppose some thriller, you are jumping there. So reality, you do not know actually what it is. Now what happened, the scientists also, they agree today, we don't know what's the reality. So they make a fantasy world of mathematical equation, some formula or something. And if it can predict how this has fallen, something they know of this world. But they don't know what is actually. There are sometimes 10 theories predicting the same thing and all 10 are correct. You don't know which one is correct. You don't know actually what is happening in the real world. Like, I write in English I write something. Okay? Hare Kṛṣṇa I write. And you don't know English. Because you don't know what I have written. Just like when I go to the bus stop, I don't know what is written on the bus. Some jalebi is written. So what do? I can copy that and tell the bus will go here. But actually I don't know what is written here. Possible no? So similarly, you really don't know what's happening in this world. Actually, I am giving a form, Hare Kṛṣṇa, which has a meaning. But you do not know. I may be just copying that Hare Kṛṣṇa which is written. Correct? So you may not know what I am doing. I may myself not know what I am doing. I just saw a form Hare Kṛṣṇa and I gave some equation. But I don't know what it is conveying. Why that word is there. So similarly, I may be very limited in my perception. Suppose I see a book, I don't know English. I can give percentage and I can make big equations out of it. Each letter comes with a particular percentage. Highest percentage is of which letter? Some different letters will come with different percentage. I will come so much. There is a science of that also. If you take any book, this is the percentage where I comes, A comes, B comes, overall a big book. So doing statistical analysis, I can say, yes, this is me. But I don't know this book is a beautiful glorification of Kṛṣṇa. I don't know. But I have given you one kind of picture, my equations will satisfy that. See now S will come at this percentage, PV, but I don't know what is coming here. A glorification of Kṛṣṇa is going on. I don't know. Just like I am speaking now. You don't know English, but what you can do is that, you can say, see, P is coming with 11%, A is coming with 8%. You are having your own sitting and doing your own analysis. You don't know there is a Bhagavad Gita going on. Possible, no? So you can make an equation, and equation produce result, predicted result, which happens. After 10 minutes, you again calculate, same percentage is coming. Possible. So you don't know what's the fact which is happening. So we create a fantasy world of our own, in which we never include science, we include God. And then you say we don't need God in science. He made a statement recently. Who was the pastor? Stephen Hawking. He made a statement, we don't need God in science. It is your own science, no? Just like a child. You yourself created a construct in which there was no God. Then how do you say God has to come inside? Just like a child can create his own fantasy world where parents don't exist. And then he says, there is no need of parents in my life. What nonsense. You yourself created a fantasy world in which parents tell, don't do this, don't do this. So he creates his world, there are no parents on it. And he said it. So we have to understand actually. See, Kṛṣṇa, actually this is all misuse of freedom. I'll give you another good example. Suppose in a house, parents give one room to the child. Okay? You have a room for yourself. Then what happens? Now, the house belongs to the parents, not to you. But still, you are supremely free. You give some freedom to the child. This is a room given to you. Now you maintain the room clean, it is expected. Correct? And you do your work in an organized way. Father, it is very peaceful. Very nice. So similarly, Kṛṣṇa has given us some freedom. We have to use the freedom properly. But what do? You can all your friends you call, and night out is going in that room, all are chanting, dancing, shouting. Then your freedom will be taken away. You are misusing the freedom. So actually, we are not at all as intelligent as the scientists to come back, but we are using our freedom properly to take shelter of an acharya, or that also trying to take shelter of an acharya. That is our hope. We have no other hope to know the truth. Tattvadarshina. That is the way. And how he knows the truth? He also followed the same principle. He also took shelter of a pure devotee and he revealed to him. Then he took shelter of that chain goes on till Brahma in our sampradaya. And Brahma took shelter of Kṛṣṇa, the severe tapasya, and Kṛṣṇa revealed to him. So only our fortune is, and only our hope is, to follow this process. Don't wait for science. They may. We don't know what is the leela of Lord Chaitanya, because he says, Prithvicha Yathovacha Nagaraji Grama. The devotees are doing scientific preaching. Means there are many people, but they don't have. Actually, many times we go to college, we show that, see, this way Darwinism, Miller is wrong. Actually, it is foolish. Because top scientists will give an argument against that, you can't break it. They're not Buddhas, why they're still believing that? Because they still have puzzled. There are like snowflakes come, they have some complexity. Nice pattern and design is there. You know that? Polar regions sometimes there are snowflakes. Yeah? And beautiful pattern comes out of accident. So seeing such things like that, scientists get bewildered. They say, therefore, complexity can come without intervention of any individual. But actually it is not very, life is extremely complex. This is not so complex. We still will hold on even by material science. But if you say, I abandon Acharya, through science I will go to Kṛṣṇa, you will not be able to go today. Science has not evolved to that level today. Correct? So we should understand on what basis, sometimes we forget, on what basis I am sitting and chanting Hare Krishna. On what basis I am serving Krishna. It is not through your logic, it is not through the science, it is only because you have forgotten, you are following, taken shelter of a pure devotee. Otherwise, how is it that sometimes we are seeing people with so much knowledge, so much understanding, they stop Krishna consciousness? It has happened in the moment. Correct? Why? They forgot this principle. They thought, by my logic and reason I have understood Krishna. No, sir, you can't do that. You can't do that. It's revealed. In fact, rather, this word is constructed in such a way that you can't understand Krishna. He is hidden. Krishna, Yoga Maya, Naham Prakash Sarvasya, Yoga Maya, he is hidden inside. So you can't. It will not be possible by any. You take the best of the argument, and a scientist will break it today. You will have some counter argument for that, and you cannot surpass it. At least he cannot be convinced. You may be convinced still, he still has a doubt, some way. To Prabhupada also argued. Sometimes Prabhupada met the scientists, he argued logically with them. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met the Buddhists, he argued. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu argued with the Buddhists in a very logical way and convinced that all the 10 arguments or 9 principles of Buddhism are wrong. So that way we can argue them, but still they will not take shelter of Krishna just by logic and argument. Something will remain for them. Why we are able to see all those things? Because we are taking shelter of Acharya. We can stop them, we can block them, but we cannot take them to the shelter of Krishna just by logic and argument. He has to follow the right process, not argue. He has to take shelter of a devotee. He has submissively, inquire all his questions and offer service. Say, then it will be revealed. And our fortune is somehow we are trying to do that and we are situated on this. So there, true, it is explained here just by logic we can understand Paramatma is there because we are devoted. You catch any other person, you will get a hint, but still he will be trapped on that. Or maybe somewhere from the mind also, subconscious mind, psychologists say, no, from subconscious mind this inspiration has come. It will be old. They will still be okay, I think end of all the day. Srila Prabhupada ki